absolute. Okay, we sort of indulged a little bit also in our our beautiful exposition of Tagore's works. And this sort of reminded us about the universality of Tagore and his works. And this evening of poetry sort of makes me think that all of us have, the universe has conspired to bring all of us together. And we are all here to celebrate the spirit of Vishwa Bharati, the spirit of Shantiniketan. Like we mentioned yesterday, Shantiniketan Literature Festival is the only such festival that exists right now for and from the land of the Bar of Bengal. And it's a matter of great pride for us to be associated with the name of Shantiniketan, and the credit totally goes to Different Truths, the editors, Arindam, Anumita Di, Arunima Di, all of them who have spent all of their efforts in putting this together. So without further ado, I would like to start this evening by inviting our guest of honor, Dr. Perugu Ramakrishna. Before he does speak to us about his thoughts, I would like to introduce him.
Aranya, just a minute. If you can ask Indira to begin with a song, sorry, as we did in Shantiniketan, as I told you. And then we can.
I'm so sorry.
Continue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indira Di, you would do the invocation of sorts for the evening today. My mind is still between these two devices. I'm trying to balance, do excuse me for the claps. Indira Di, over to you to invoke the bard with your music.
Thank you so much. Thank you. As I've already told Arindam, I'm not a professional singer, and I'll just try to live up to your expectations. The song, it is titled Amar Naiba Holo Pare Jao. Amar Naiba Holo Pare Jao, Pare Jao. যে হাওয়াতে জ্বলতো গান হাওয়া নাইবা হলো পারে যাওয়া আমার নাইবা হলো পারে যাওয়া নেই যদি বা জংলা বাড়ি ঘাট আছে তো বসতে পারি নেই যদি বা জংলা বাড়ি ঘাট আছে তো বসতে পারি আমার আশার তরি ডুবলো যদি দেখবো তোদের তরি বাবা আশার তরি ডুবলো যদি দেখবো তোদের তরি বাবা নাইবা হলো পারে যাওয়া আমার নাইবা হলো পারে যাওয়া হাতের কাছে কোলের কাছে যা আছে সে অনেক আছে হাতের কাছে কোলের কাছে যা আছে সে অনেক আছে আমার সারা দিনে এই কিরে কাজ পার পানে রে কিরে কাজ পার পানে কেঁদে যাওয়া নাইবা হলো পারে যাওয়া কম কিছু মোর থাকে হেথা প্রাণ দিয়ে তা কম কিছু মোর থাকে হেথা উড়িয়ে দেব প্রাণ দিয়ে তা আতা যেখানে মোর দাবি দাওয়া সেইখানে কল্পলতা যেখানে দাবি দাওয়া নাই বা হলো পারে যাওয়া আমার নাই বা হলো পারে যাওয়া
Dada, you have to unmute yourself.
Sorry, I forgot. Thank you, Indira. Can you please sum up the meaning of the song in a sentence or two? Because এখানে অনেকেই আছে যারা বাংলা বোঝেন না।
Yes, of course. Although it sounds a bit pessimistic, but actually it is talking about the tolerant view that Tagore exudes. That it may be that I am not able to sail across and my boat is stranded midway in the river, but I'll content myself by looking at others reaching their own destinations. Whatever I have, I'm contented with that, and I'm happy in other people's achievements. That is the
Thank
core
you.
of the song.
Thank you. Saranya, over to you.
Thank you so much, Indradi. I mean, I'm finding it extremely easy to address all of you as Dada and Didi because that's what we learned at Shantiniketan, that all of us present there would address elders and teachers and professors even as Dada and Didi rather than calling them by their name or using their designations or using their titles. And that I sort of felt was a step towards acknowledging the fact that we are all one big family. And Indraji's song this evening also reminds us of that, saying that it's okay if I don't achieve the pinnacle of glory as long as those that walk with me are blessed. On that note, we are blessed to have our guest of honor with us this evening, Dr. Perugu Ramakrishna. Dr. Perugu Ramakrishna is a poet laureate, a bilingual poet of international repute. He's a translator and editor from Nellore City, Andhra Pradesh. He has published about 26 books in multiple genres. And as an invited poet from India, he has participated in several international conferences, World Congress of Poets, SARC literary meets, Sahitya Academy poetry sessions, and has received several accolades at national and international levels. Medals, awards, and honors have been an everyday affair in the life of Dr. Ramakrishna. The Andhra Pradesh state government's Best Poet Award stands as a shining glory in the crown of accolades that he's won. He has also been bestowed upon various awards by Telugu University, for example, the Kirti Puraskaram, and many such awards from different sectors of the government. Various private entities of poetry have also decorated him with various titles. It's indeed a great joy, sir, to have you amidst us this evening. I fondly recall our association during the time that we were at the Bharat Award ceremony in Bangalore,
Yes.
and you had generously spent your time and energy on the evening, and it was such a beautiful time to have had to discuss poetry with you, sir. Dr. Ramakrishna will be presenting a paper on, or he will be speaking on rather Tagore and children literature. Tagore, being a towering figure in Indian literature, has made significant contributions to children's literature, and Dr. Perugu Ramakrishna will be talking to us about that aspect of Tagore. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Saranya. Thank you for your kind words. I always remember our association, even in Poetic Prism event organized by Vijayawada Society. And I am thankful to the a great man who is the main initiative behind this event, both physically organized during the August second week at Shantiniketan, a fantastic ambience. I really missed it due to certain personal problems. I'm very happy to be associated now in this virtual event happening third day today. My pranams to Arindam Roy and all other colleague poets today, colleague guests and poets today. It is always a celebration speaking about our Tagore. So pranams to Saraswati Ma and also to the Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. Tagore is always an amazing name to spell by any world literary people. So today also we chant his name repeatedly by sensing some of his works in different perspectives. We all know that Rabindranath Tagore, a legendary poet, philosopher, and educationist, left an indelible mark on the literary and educational environment of India, Asia, and the world. His writing contributions, especially poetry and prose, have received international acclaim. Tagore's influence, however, extended beyond his writing prowess. Rabindranath Tagore's writings have a timeless quality that transcends linguistic and cultural barriers. His words, loaded with poetic beauty and deep emotions, continue to enthrall people all over the world. I am fortunate to visit the birthplace of Tagore, and also with the courtesy of Sahitya Academy, when we are celebrating Rabindranath Tagore's 150th birthday anniversary, I was fortunate to visit Shantiniketan also. A versatile personality and a towering figure in Indian literature, made significant contributions to the children's literature. His works for children are characterized by their simplicity, imagination, and profound moral lessons. So today, I like to present a brief talk on his contributions. Rabindranath Tagore, the first non-European to win the Nobel Prize in Literature, is renowned for his vast body of work that spans poetry, novels, short stories, and plays. However, his contributions to children's literature are also equally remarkable and deserve a special attention, special mention. Tagore believed that children should be nurtured with love and freedom. And this philosophy is reflected in his writings for young readers. His stories and poems for children are imbued with a sense of wonder, imagination, and a deep understanding of a child's mind. He wrote in a simple yet captivating style that appeals to children and also adults alike. One of his most famous works for children is the collection of poems titled The Crescent Moon. In this book, Tagore explores the words through the eyes of a child capturing the innocence and curiosity that define childhood. The poems are filled with vivid imagery and gentle rhymes, making them a delight to read and recite. Tagore's stories for children often carry moral lessons, but they are never didactic. Instead, they encourage children to think, question, and explore the world around them. His story, particularly The Parrot's Training, is a satirical take on the rote learning system, emphasizing the importance of creative and holistic education. In addition to his literary works, Tagore also established the Vishwa Bharati University, where he implemented his education ideals. He believed in an education system that was in harmony with nature and encouraged creativity and critical thinking. This vision extended to his approach to children's literature, where he sought to inspire and enlighten scores of young minds. Tagore's contribution to children's literature are timeless. His work continues to be read and cherished by generations of readers. They remind us of the importance of nurturing a child's imagination and the power of storytelling in shaping young minds. So this is how he has presented several stories for children. Not only the stories, even certain lullaby poems today often listen in Bengali, the land where Tagore born and lived. So this is how he always touched all the genres in the literature field. And in conclusion, I want to say Tagore's legacy in children's literature is a testament to his genius and his deep empathy for the world of children. His stories and poems remain a source of joy, inspiration, and wisdom, making him a beloved figure in the realm of children's literature. Thank you, one and all.
Wonderfully stated, Dr. Ramakrishna Perugu. Very important part. To be able to write for children takes a special, talent. And thanks for bringing that up. Over to you, Saranya.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Perugu, for having reminded us of the uniqueness of Tagore's contribution to children's literature. I was especially moved by the way that you said that we are chanting his name and honoring his presence. That was such a poetic way of putting it. And in fact, that is what we are doing. We are chanting the Bard's name and remembering his great contributions to literature. I'm especially reminded of the great stories we read as we were growing up, The Postmaster, Kabuliwala, Astronomer, several of these stories that really shaped our childhood and our ethos, so to speak, the way that we look at the world outside. I'm reminded also of one paper where Tagore's very famous poem, Sharps and Flats, I think, was compared to Sri Garu's poetry, and how Sri Garu's poetry sort of complemented the irreverence that he had for everything that was against the innocence of children. So
Exactly.
thank you so much for having brought that to light, sir. We're very much influenced by what you have spoken to us.
Thank you, Saranya.
We will now move on to our next poet. Our next poet is Dr. Mukesh Yadav. Dr. Mukesh Yadav is an Associate Dean at the University of Engineering and Management, Jaipur, and a professor and head of Department of English and Humanities. His expertise lies in the area of diasporic writing and cross-cultural education. He holds a PhD in South Asian diasporic literature and has authored 9 books. His research interests include diasporic literature, post-colonial literature, and English language teaching. Dr. Yadav has over 20 years of teaching experience at the university level in India, Libya, and Saudi Arabia, making him a very apt person to speak about diasporic literature and the diaspora that exists within and without the country. I've had the opportunity of reading a couple of his academic work while I was talking to my students about Ezekiel and about diasporic literature per se. A couple of his very simple definitions that could even be understood by young students of literature is something that is praiseworthy. We're so happy to meet you, Dr. Mukesh Yadav, on this platform. And I would like to hand over the stage to you and for your paper's exposition titled Rediscovering Rabindranath Tagore and His Enduring Universality. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Saranya. Thank you for such a detailed introduction. I really feel myself fortunate to be a part of this Shantiniketan Literature Festival. All credit goes to Arindam Roy, sir. He is the one who brought us together, and I really feel a loss to myself because, in a sense, I couldn't attend that physical festival. But thank you to Arindam Roy, sir, and the entire team that you have given me this opportunity to present my views virtually. So I also pay my regards to our guest of honor, Dr. Peregu Ramakrishna. So he has already set the momentum, and I hope I will further continue this momentum. So the title, and I would also like to welcome all other guests who are present in this meeting. The title of my research paper is Rediscovering Rabindranath Tagore, His Enduring Universality and Cosmopolitanism. I believe Rabindranath Tagore is such a name and such a personality that he is there. He is everywhere in literature. His thoughts are everywhere in the world level. So it's difficult to rediscover him, but I would say that it's always good to revisit his works, because every time we read his works, we feel that enlightenment, and his visionary spirit always inspires us to give voices to the subalterns, and which he did during the struggle for independence. So I would say that I would not go into the details of his works, because I know already a lot have been discussed in previous meetings. This is the third meeting. So I will directly jump into Tagore's cosmopolitanism. And if you see Tagore's cosmopolitanism, so it is embedded with the values of cooperation, coexistence, humanity, and spiritual universalism. So he has transcended the boundaries of what is meant for humanity at large. So he believed that the concept of citizenship should be based on humanist ideal. Like Tanika Sarkar in her article argued that cooperation, coexistence, and humanity are comprehensively reflected in Tagore's work entitled Gora. Tagore's Gora overcomes the ethocentricities that led to such a distortion, but in particular, it comes close to the universal. Patriotism dissolves into love for all the helpless peoples of the world, offering radically a new way of being an Indian patriot. Tagore gave so much importance to cooperation, coexistence, and humanity that while denouncing nationalism, he does not refute the humanist values inherent in European civilization since the Enlightenment. Tagore maintained his regard for that European humanist tradition, that he viewed its debasement in the 20th century in the form of national imperialism. Based on his humanist thinking, Tagore argued that modern India's claim to nationhood was fundamentally flawed because India could not succeed in retaining the unifying spirit which kept diverse people together for centuries and had allowed conflicts between faiths and caste divisions to countervail that spirit. So I would say that Tagore's cosmopolitanism wanted to extend humanist values from national territory to international. Therefore, he emphasized on universal humanism. It is such ideas of Tagore that even Jawaharlal Nehru called him the greatest humanist of India. Tagore wanted to bring the ideals of the East and West into harmony and broaden the basis of Indian nationalism. He not only believed but also worked for international cooperation, taking India's message to other countries for international for bringing this message to our own people. And even Jawaharlal Nehru, he quote, and yet with all his internationalism, his feet has always been planted firmly on India's soil and his mind has been saturated with the wisdom of Upanishads, unquote. So we can see that Tagore has actually denounced the spirit of selfish nationalism, and that's what he talks about cosmopolitanism. And this ideology mm, could be could be seen in his works also, like if you see Vishwa Bharati, the entire ideology of Vishwa Bharati supports his way of thinking of cosmopolitanism and universalism. Also, uh, uh, I will cover one more aspect of his writing about his idea of universal man. So, Tagore's idea of universal man is the highest form of realization of human nature or existence that is not extra human or superhuman. In order to understand this highest form of human nature, we should know the proper meaning of human existence. And according to him, man exists two needs, that is, ordinary or material needs, and higher or human needs. In human existence, both these needs are combined, and the humanistic outlook of man, as Tagore observes, is due to the expression of the intrinsic power of a man. So, according to him, the highest state of human freedom is, in the observation of Tagore, is the manifestation of his universal nature that is potential in his material existence in this world. So, he has actually tried to uh, say that human freedom, mm, and this could be as Dr. Peregu has also said that in children literature, he has said that children should be nurtured with love and freedom. So he talks about the same freedom also, that unless and until we have that uh, universality and we don't have the freedom, it is very difficult to reveal the completeness of human life. So I would conclude saying that Tagore's views that universal humanism is how a man become infinite or universal man. Tagore observes that man realizes all social values not in a limited sense, but all these relations through selfless service for mankind in love are for the realization of absolute values of truth, goodness, and beauty as essential unity in man. So, with this, I conclude my talk. Thank you. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Dr. Mukesh Yadav. Excellent erudite paper, and you put it very easily across to all of us, his humanism and his universal views. Saranya, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank you,
for your
Dr.
words.
Thank you, Dr. Yadav. Thank you, Rindamda. I'm reminded of this line from Gitanjali where Tagore speaks about, the relevance of worship and the way he responds. He says, "Whom dost thou worship in this lonely, dark corner of a temple with doors all shut? Open thine eyes and see thy God is not before thee. He is there where the tiller is tilling the hard ground and where the path maker is breaking stones." He talks about the essential presence of God in labor. And this directly corresponds or is directly parallel to the land that I study in, the land that has given me my identity, which is Karnataka, where Basavanna, the 15th century Bhakti poet, he says, "Ullavaru ದೇವಾಲಯ ಮಾಡುವರು ನಾನೇನ ಮಾಡುವೆ ಬಡವನಯ್ಯ ಎನ್ನ ಕಾಲೇ ಕಂಬ ದೇಹವೇ ದೇಗುಲ ಶಿರವೇ ಹೊನ್ನ ಕಲಶವಯ್ಯ ಕೂಡಲ ಸಂಗಮ ದೇವ ಕೇಳಯ್ಯ ಸ್ಥಾವರಕ್ಕೆ ಅಳಿವುಂಟು ಜಂಗಮಕ್ಕೆ ಅಳಿವಿಲ್ಲ." He says that the people who have money can build temples, can build, or why will I find God there? My legs are the pillars, my head is the swarna kalash, and my body is your temple. And the dynamism that moves through this kind of social consciousness is where you can find God, right? And that doesn't have any end. And so beautifully you have elucidated this thought of Tagore, where he questions these absolutes in society. You've always been particular in talking about this nature of in your exposition of diasporic writing as well. You have always spoken about the importance of these absolutes in society being questioned, and that is
Correct.
what you have done through your through your talk today as well, Dr. Yadav. We are so happy and so joyful with that presentation. Thank you once again for your beautiful exposition.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We now move on with our next presenter of the evening. We have with us Dr. Shalini Yadav. Dr. Shalini Yadav is a distinguished scholar, a writer and professor with a background in post-colonial literature. She has authored and edited 14 books and has earned prestigious awards. Dr. Yadav serves on editorial boards, publishes in respected journals and newspapers, and presents at conferences regularly. Her work spans topics like ecofeminism, post-colonialism, and women's studies, showcasing her versatility and accomplishment in academic community. Dr. Shalini Yadav today will be talking to us about the universality of Tagore and about the timeless global theme that permeates the legacy of Tagore through his works, ideology, and speeches. She will also later, during the evening, present her poem to us during round 2. But for now, we will listen to Dr. Yadav speak about the universality in the works of Rabindranath Tagore. Over to you, Dr. Shalini Yadav.
Thank you. Thank you, Saranya ma'am, for this elaborated introduction. Good evening, all distinguished scholars, writers, and poets present here. I'm deeply honored and humbled to be part of this esteemed Shantiniketan Literature Festival, which is graciously organized by Arindam sir. Thanks, Arindam sir, for giving me this chance to be here with all stalwarts like Ramakrishna sir, and I listened to Mukesh sir also. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Arindam sir and Anumita ma'am for bestowing upon me this opportunity to participate in this event. My presentation, as Saranya ma'am has already talked about, titled Reflections of Universality in Rabindranath Tagore's works, explores the timeless and global themes that permeate Tagore's remarkable legacy. Rabindranath Tagore, as we all know, a renowned Indian poet, a Bengali sage, philosopher, and the first non-European Nobel laureate, believed in the power of universal humanism. He is a prolific Indian writer of 20th century who is renowned for his literary contributions, philosophical insights, and the overarching theme of universality found in his work. His writings, including stories, poems, novels, his speeches, his ideology, everything has reflected the concept of universality. Literary scholar B. Johnson has said about him that Tagore's universality lies in his ability to depict the human experience with such depth and sensitivity that it becomes a mirror for every reader, enabling them to introspect and connect deeply with their own humanity. Universality in Tagore's behavior, ideology, and speeches, if we talk about Tagore's own life and behavior, were reflections of the universality he preached in his work in Gitanjali. As Saranyam has quoted a very beautiful quote from Gitanjali, I talked about that. He tells in that I have spent my days stringing and unstringing my instrument while the song I came to sing remains unsung. As an advocate for education, he established the Vishwa Bharati University, as we all know, emphasizing the importance of holistic education that promotes cultural exchange and fosters understanding among individuals from different backgrounds. According to him, education means enabling the mind to find out that ultimate truth which emancipates us from the bondage of dust and gives us wealth not of the things but of inner light, not of power but of love. It is the process of enlightenment. It is the process of self-exploration. It is a kind of divine wealth, and it helps in the realization of the truth, because ultimately we all want to find the truth. Tagore's ideology and speeches demonstrated his commitment to peace, harmony, and mutual respect among all people. His visit to various countries and interaction with individuals from diverse cultures further solidified his belief in the power of universality. One of Tagore's most significant contribution was his emphasis on the interconnectedness of all existence between all human beings, and his poem Stray Birds also talks about this, where he writes, quote, "Don't say, I will depart tomorrow, even today is yesterday for someone," unquote. This sentiment echoes his belief in the unity of human experience, transcending geographical and cultural boundaries. Professor A. Smith was some disturbance
Dr. Shalini?
due to network issues.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dr. Shalini, do you
am
want
I
to?
audible now?
You are audible. Maybe if you switch off your video for a
Okay.
couple of minutes, your audio will also sync in
Okay.
seamlessly, and you can continue speaking. We will listen to you.
Okay. So I was talking about Tagore's ideology and his poem. Some lines I quoted from his poem Stray Bird. Don't say I will depart tomorrow, even today is yesterday for someone. This sentiment echoes his belief in the unity of human experience, and it transcends geographical and cultural boundaries. About it, Professor A. Smith also wrote, and he said that Tagore's work continued to resonate with readers across the globe, and his ability to capture the essence of universal human emotions transcends time and cultural barriers. Tagore's ideology was rooted in the importance of individual freedom and the harmony between nature and humanity. In his speech, The Center of Indian Culture, he stated that highest education is that which does not merely give us information but makes our life in harmony with all existence. And this philosophy is reflected in the establishment of Vishwa Bharati University also, which focuses on the global unity and cultural exchange. universality in Tagore's work, if we talk about, it consistently demonstrates his conviction that human experiences transcend the boundaries of nationality, race, and religion. In his short stories such as Kabuliwala, The Postmaster, Tagore portrays the human conditions and emotions in a way that allows readers from diverse backgrounds to connect on a deeply personal level. His poems, including Gitanjali song offerings, emphasizes the shared struggles, joys, aspirations of all individuals, regardless of their cultural and socio-economic background. Notably, Tagore's novel Gora presents a nuanced portrayal of the complexity challenging societal norms and advocating for a more inclusive understanding of humanity. Gora, it is a novel by Rabindranath Tagore written in 1910, and it explores the complex issues such as identity crisis, cultural exchange, nationalism, individual freedom, making it a work of enduring relevance. And how Gora struggles in that, how his journey is a powerful journey, and how he struggles for his individual freedom in the story. And he's a Bengali patriot, and how he questions the social norm. So that is something that Guruji tells about.
Dr. Shalini, we seem to have lost your audio again. Could you try and reconnect?
Yeah.
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead. Go
just
ahead.
give me a
We can hear
minute.
you. Yes.
Yes. So I was talking about the novel Gora, and in Gora, the main character, the Bengali man, he struggled a lot, and he had the crisis of identity, and he wanted to create his own identity, and for that he struggled, and that story revolves around nationalism and universal humanism. About it, Mahatma Gandhi also says, who is the close friend and admirer of Tagore, he praised his universal appeal, and he said that Tagore's writings are a testament to the power of the human spirit to transcend boundaries and borders. Rabindranath Tagore's another story, Kabuliwala, is also
Shalini, we have lost you again. Please come back.
yes.
No, I
I
understand there's no
I have
problem.
tried my best to connect in the
No, it's okay.
best
Please
Don't
continue.
possible.
worry. Don't worry. It's okay.
Please
Please go ahead.
continue. It
Yes.
happens.
So the story Kabuliwala talks about complex issues such as human relations, and because when we talk about universalism, it is about interconnectedness. It is about bonding. It is about relations between humans. So here in this story, the person Kabuliwala and Minnie, the girl, they transcend cultural and socio-economic boundaries, and the power of human connection is highlighted in the short story, and it also highlights the theme of friendship, love, loss, and the passage of time. It also highlights that how universal human emotions are powerful, which connect us all. Like after his release, Kabuliwala visits Minnie's house again, and now when she's a grown-up woman and she's about to get married, but he realizes the time has passed, and his own daughter may also have been grown up in the same way in his absence, like Minnie has grown up. So the story makes them connected with each other, and it beautifies the cultural exchange and understanding between Kabuliwala and the Bengali family. And Kabuliwala's journey towards redemption and forgiveness serves as a universal reminder of the human capacity for growth and change in the story. And it is a beautiful story of love, loss, and connection, and makes it a timeless classic, which is even taught now to our young kids. And another story, like the post office is also a poignant exploration of human connections. I will not go much more in detail of that. Albert Einstein, who met Tagore in 1930, noted that Tagore's visit was a great event for him, and he personally felt that Tagore was a remarkable personality, full of wisdom and humor. The universality of Tagore's work, if we talk about his ideas, his ideology, his speeches, his writings, everything is highly relevant for present day India and for the youth. And it offers valuable insights and guidance in various aspects of life. If we connect it to present day, Tagore's emphasis on cultural exchange and understanding, which was crucial at that period of time also, and today in this globalized world where diversity and inclusivity are essential. So that time also it is quite relevant. His critique of nationalism and advocacy for universalism, which served as a reminder earlier, is same that it is carry a national pride with global citizenship and empathy for us today also. Like, we proudly say that we are from the country of Tagore, and we are from the land of Tagore wherever we go in the world. His focus on individual freedom and autonomy inspires youth to think critically. They can question societal norms by going through his readings, his speeches, his writings, and his essays, and they can pursue their passions by reading the works of Tagore. Tagore's innovative approaches to education, like Vishwa Bharati, also promotes holistic learning, creativity, and self-discovery. That is also relevant for today's youth. And his love for nature also imparts the same thing about the contemporary concerns about sustainability and climate change, and more just and equitable society. So this is all that what he wanted, he dreamed in that period, and still we can connect, we feel connected with that, and we can impart these things, these universal values, and the thing what he wanted in the youth through education system. His works have highlighted emotional intelligence, empathy, and compassion, and that is essential for any kind of relationship and the harmonious society. His exploration of spirituality and inner growth in the works like Sadhana and Gitanjali also can encourage youth to reflect on their values, beliefs, and purpose in life. So we can say that Tagore's universality offers a wealth of wisdom and insights for present day Indians and youth, helping them root complex issues, cultivate empathy and understanding, and strive for personal growth and social change in the surroundings. And his impact and legacy as a universal humanist continue to resound through his writings, deserving admiration ages after ages and recognitions across the world. So this is what I wanted to say. Thank you once again for giving me the chance.
Thank you, Shalini, for your excellent exposition, a multi-layered talk you presented, and you truly showed us the wonderful visionary that Tagore was, is, and shall always be, reflecting also on his relevance now and always. Over to you, Saranya.
Thank you, Tata. Thank you, Dr. Shalini, for reminding us about this concept of universality. There are several works that speak about how Rabindranath Tagore spoke about the surplus in man. And this universality, the concept of universality and universalism that he propounded, focused on how this surplus in man makes up for the incompleteness in man. This surplus leads to transcendence. And the surplus was not necessarily organic or naturally occurring in man, but the surplus is something that can be acquired by expanding our senses to include universality. And because we do this, there is a celebration in society. I'm also reminded of Dr. Amrit Sen, who spoke to us during the Shantiniketan Literature Festival. He was one of the guests who came and spoke to us, a professor in Vishwa Bharati University. He spoke about how Tagore's vision of universality ensured that he included the people of Bolpur within the university. He wanted them to be within the university. So the concept of Vishwabharati, or the concept of Shantiniketan, is not really a philosophy that excludes people. It's not an exclusive university or space that is meant only for a certain kind of intellectual, elitist sort of a society. Whereas Dr. Amrit Sen elucidated how his philosophy of universality included, where the people were a part of the university, were inside the university and not outside. They were not marginalized, so to speak, like other universities exclude the people of that land. And you sort of reminded us of that, and we're really thankful for having heard you. Despite the glitches, I think your voice came through and your thoughts were quite clear. Thank you so much once again. With that, we move on to a little bit of a relief from the French side. We have amidst us a really close associate, a really special associate of mine personally, as well as the extended poetic fraternity around the country. We have amidst us Geetanjali Dilip, a professor of French. She heads the Zone Francophone in Salem, India. She's a poet by passion. She has published books including Geetatma, Song of the Soul, Hansa Geetam, Song of the Celestial Swan, Poetry Voice, Geeta Dhwani, Soul Riff, Atma Tarang, Rose the Dewdrop, Beads of Poesy, Mani Geetam, with excellent reviews. She's also a recipient of the Royal International Award for Poetry. She has painstakingly and passionately curated 6 festivals of poetry titled the Yakad Poetry Festival. I've had the absolute joy and privilege of being a part of them, part of all 6 of them in some way or the other, despite the fact that I have time and again not been able to make it in person.
We missed you.
But I've always made it a point to be associated with the festival in some way or the other. I feel the speciality of Geetanjali Dilip as a poet is her ability. A lot of us who are associated with her would call her the Nimisha Kavi, which means a topic or an inspiration or the muse hits her and she will in a minute conjure up poetry, and you would Geetanjali Dilip was the original poem generator even before ChatGPT hit our understanding and comprehension. So she is that's the original poem generator that we know. Bonsoir, madame.
Bonsoir. Bonsoir tout le monde.
Merci. So happy you're amidst us. Over to you and your beautiful exposition. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Saranya. Thank you for this beautiful introduction. I hope I'm audible enough for everybody. Yes? Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much, Arindam Da, for having me here amongst these stalwarts. So much to say about the universality of Gurudev's poet works, literary works. I mean, these are more spiritual too. So being in this milieu itself is a fantastic blessing and a great tribute and an honor, to be in this 150th anniversary of his, what shall I say, reach to the entire world. And it's such a stupendous task to have pulled off this Shantiniketan festival, which I could not attend personally because of my mother's first death anniversary. But here I am, and thank you once again. Different Truths are always, including some amazing poets, and I'm so proud to be part of this. So I wanted to, when Arindam Da asked me to participate, and actually I literally said, please, I'm going to do this. I want to participate. So he said, okay, just send something across, but the slots are over in Kolkata. I said, I have to share with all of you my experience on the last day of the Posh Mela when I went to Shantiniketan. Way back in 2016 when I started presenting poetry in Facebook, and I made friends. A lot of fellow poets were there, and we had to launch a certain book called Virtual Reality in Kolkata. And from there, I said, "No, I'll have a tour. I mean, I'll be a tourist later, but I first have to go to that abode of peace, Shantiniketan. I need to go there. And I took a taxi and I went there. It was the last day. Things were kind of, slowing down, but the aura was beautiful and it was brimming with, ball music and songs and verses all over the place. So what I wanted to just say, a gist of what I thought I should convey here, I wrote something. When a poet tries to relive the era of her favorite poet, who is her inspiration and raison d'etre to revel in poetry, all she could do is bask in the verses of such an inspirational poet who is none other than Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. In her poem, Abode of Peace, in which Gitanjali relives her experience at the Posh Mela at Shantiniketan and the nostalgia that feeds more poetry to her soul, she shares with the world what Shantiniketan means to her, a poem, Abode of Peace, that reflects the poet's experience. And the experience was something, not just being there, but living these past 8 years, remembering more than nostalgia, it is like a longing. So this is what I wanted to talk about. And I'm going to my poem without wasting more time. And yeah, I've been totally enjoying your anchorship, and it's fantastic. I'm loving it. And I've been listening to the beautiful papers, presentations here. So amazing you all are. You've done so much research. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Abode of Peace. On the last day of the vibrant Posh Mela, where winter dawns, misty, fragrant gowns gala, chance bestowed itself upon my precious dream that I saw as a reverie before me magically stream, my heart thudding as if I ran a long way as I approached the emerald trees in feverish sway, canopies breeding winged souls that sweetly sang. I could hear mellifluous voices sending an aching pang through my very being, although the language not mine, every word, verse, and melody wafted in chants divine, my soul brimming with that tide of exaltation that I stood on the ground where trod the bard of my nation. The distant mystical haze in limpid eyes of balls who effortlessly sang poems under open skies, no walls, no divides, no paradigms, but just freedom, where thoughts flit freely from the depths of the soul, saw serfdom. There in the twilight, when the festival was closing, I saw my dream of decades beautifully unfolding. His radiance spread in saffron filigreed branches. I sat mesmerized in the stories on my haunches. Night was falling as the first stars blinked in glee. I realized that in a long time, I've never felt this free. For the earth in Shantiniketan was simply the abode of peace. Singers clad in white hummed with the song of the universe, and Ektara with ease. Everything happened in slow motion, away from chaos, as if time stood still for me, like between tunes in a pause. For in such a world where fertile thoughts breed, there's no place for hate, intolerance, spite, and greed. Such a world did Gurudev envision for this world, where love, brotherhood, and oneness unfurled, where every enunciation becomes poetry deeply felt, and our pain, sorrows, despair, and darkness simply melt. I took with me memories that in my soul I drafted as souvenirs I still cherish of necklaces handcrafted, not just the beads and terracotta strung so deftly, but the thought stream of a great soul that like a river flowed gently. Reading Rabindranath Tagore is a blessing of a lifetime, living his principles of universal brotherhood and ideal prime. I know not when I would again visit that abode of peace, but the echoes of Posh Mela ringing in my heart would never decrease. So this is what I coined over there. And I mean, I wrote for Shantiniketan Festival, literally festival, and it was more than what I had to say in these verses. It's just that when we think of India, we think of a lot of great people, but some souls brought the nation together at the most important time, and he still is. And he is still getting us all together in poetry. And that's the best way to communicate and the best way to divide, break down these walls. I don't want to sound cliche and borrow his words, but this is how I feel. And thank you so much once again for patiently listening. And I loved rendering it to you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gitanjali. Your name has a direct connect with Gurudev, his book.
Yes.
And what you talked about, yes, that's true. Last year on 17th September, Shantiniketan was recognized as the World Heritage, tag was given to it. So it's so apt, your poem and your Posh Mela. Yes, wonderful. And Saranya, over to you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Arindam
you,
Da.
Rajat. Thank you. Thank you, GD. GD is what I lovingly call her, and it's so difficult for me to use any of those lofty titles otherwise. I was in particular touched by the way that she spoke about how everything is in slow motion there, as if the world has come to a standstill. I think it tells something about how important it is for all of us to appreciate that stillness, appreciate
Correct.
that the importance of standing and staring at something and allowing it to sink in. Thank you so much for having brought those images, GD. It was just, as usual, mesmerizing to hear your experiences at the Posh Mela. Thank you once again.
Thank you,
I will
Saranya.
now apologize for having skipped the last part of round one. And I was sort of over enthusiastic when I saw GD's name, and I sort of skipped the last person who had to speak before round two of poetry began. We had to also listen to uh, Indra Banerjee speak about her thoughts on Tagore's short story. So I will now request Indra Banerjee, who's a nature lover and more of a Tagore lover, as she would like to call herself. And she talks to us about her good fortune of visiting and revisiting Shantiniketan many times. Now she experiences strange nostalgia, she says, for the Rangamati clad, idyllic, quiet place. And it now occupies a very special place in her heart as a pilgrim spot, she says. She's a student of and faculty of English literature. She's heading the department at a college in Ranchi, Jharkhand. She's had a short stint as an undergraduate student at Kala Bhavan long back in 1997. And she thinks that this journey is a nostalgic one. And she will discuss Tagore's short story, Punishment or Saja in Bengali. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I read this short story long back, but it has somehow occupied a very significant place in my mind. And whenever I got to go back to this story at least once, the way Tagore has put forth the depictions of the countryside, social milieu, the way he has presented the characters, it is unique and unrivaled, I feel. The
Sorry
story
for
is
interruption. Sorry for interruption, Indira. Your audio video, there's a bit of a gap. Can you please shut your video and continue with the audio just as Shalini did? Maybe we'll hear you better, if you don't mind.
video.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So
Please continue.
I was talking about this short story by Tagore called Punishment in English, and it was translated by this famous translator in 18. It was published way back in 1893. But the way Tagore has presented human emotions, human relationships, the vibrant pictures of the countryside, the descriptions of nature in prose, poetry. We are all very familiar with the poetic abilities of presents descriptions in prose also. They they amount to the quality of poetic prose. They no longer remain prosaic. So the story is the story goes that there are these two brothers who belong to the Puri caste, and actually they are farmers, and they have their wives at home who are always quarreling. And on one unfortunate day, the elder brother, in a fit of rage, he kills his own wife. But the younger brother, he changes the entire game by shifting the blame onto his own wife. To save the rest of the village, Ramlochan Chakravarti comes to visit him on some text in the evening. He's for the murder of his sister-in-law, and he in fact, there's one line in this context. Many feminists will attack the author for having written this line. The character of Chidam says that I can have he is hanged. So he is ready to give up on his wife. So the girl of 18 or 19 years of age, and she gets hanged for a crime that she has never committed. Now the question of punishment over here, as the story's title goes, um, the punishment is not limited to only this young girl. The punishment, the plight of his wife, for his life, that he is ready to take the blame upon himself in front of the magistrate, but he is actually not heard. His pleas are unheard because they feel that being emotional, he's being carried away by his emotions, and he's actually lying in court to save his wife, and they don't listen to him. So finally, that his life would end her life, and it's a punishment for him too, and it is a punishment for the other two characters also in the story. So although it was written long ago, what I would like to point out over here is that there are certain things that remain in the passage of time. And here we find that the way many relationships, they suffer from misunderstandings, and people, they shy away from each other. They go into a cocoon rather than discussing. All this is so well presented by the whole. So I'm full of appreciation and admiration for this great poet and musician. He has so many people rolled into one, and I think in several ages we are blessed with the presence. So my pranams to Gurudev, and thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Indira, for this wonderful exposition. And over to you, Saranya.
Thank you, Indraji, for having spoken about this short story. Like you rightly pointed out, this short story has portrayed several sensitive and complex relationships among the family members. It also talks about how Tagore subtly exposes the hypocrisy and the double standards that the society has when it comes to punishments given to men and women. I'm also, this particular story is also brought to screen very effectively, very recently in the short web series that is available on Netflix, and the story is, it's extremely, representative and relevant even to this day, where women are drawn into a world of chivalry and the so-called appreciation through those grand gestures, only to find themselves stuck in empty lip service. So thank you so much for having brought to light that aspect of Tagore's exposition through his short stories. Several of his short stories have really touched upon the same issue, and you have rightly pointed out how punishment stands as a testimony to Tagore's vision of the world. I'm also reminded of how Tagore was many times questioned about why he does not directly involve himself in the national movement and fight for freedom directly. And I think this idea of Gurudev Tagore being somebody who believed in universalism and humanism, to him, these were not geographical borders that he was fighting, the freedom from geographical borders that he was really fighting against, but he was fighting against the narrow domestic walls, which also Jiri pointed out. He was fighting against these social evils, really, that permeated the society during his time and age. Thank you once again, Indraji, for your time and effort. We appreciate the thoughts that you have brought forth this evening to us. We'll now move on to the second round of this evening, where we will listen to poetry from all our participants. Arindam, shall we move ahead with the second round?
Yeah, please do so. Please do so, Saranya.
Thank you so much. So our in our second round, we will now listen to a poem titled "To Which Land This Sand Belongs" by Dr. Ramakrishna Perugu. Over to you, sir. Sir, you have to unmute yourself.
Thank you once again for the chairman of the festival, Arindam sir, and my friend Saranya, who is dealing the festival in a very beautiful way. This poem, in the present scenario, I want to recite, aspiring the world peace, as is one of the always aspired by our Gurudev also, patriotic and world peace poem titled "To Which Land This Sand Belongs." This fistful of earth in my hand, can you tell me of which country and land? Take a piece of smile and boil on fire. Try turning it into a drop of tear. Imprisoned in the riddle of falsity, when you remain like a tree solitary, never comes true your green reverie. As long as synthetic camaradaries walk hand in hand with smiles wry, oceans between man and man never dry. Try ever changing your colors and livery for selfish gains in life movie. You still find your history rooted to earth through your feet firmly. But when you try to see beyond your land, your sky, your creed, caste, and your blood, you sure will find a benevolent, great new world. You sure will find a benevolent, great new world waiting keen for you with stretched out hands. Stop flowing like burning lavas of ill will. Try the way a cuckoo's soothing trill moistens the desiccated desert's gullet, and a dewdrop gleams hope on a mirage sill. It's all yours, this whole universe. Embrace it all. Between the earth and heavens, paint a portrait of a new human countenance that is naive of knives, landmines, and guns, and knows just love, love, and love alone. To make at last the human to win his old phenomenon as true human. To make at last human to win his old phenomenon as true human. Thank you.
Lovely poem. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Saranya.
Dr. Perigua, I was thinking of the expression desiccated desert sand. I mean, it really hit the nail, that we are talking about whose fight is this anyway? What are we fighting for, right? And again, reminding us of the short story of, that says, how much land does a man need? He keeps running and running and running till he faints and falls and can't take it no more. What are we going to take back with us? Very, very poignant as a poem, sir, and excellent imagery, visually very rich. Thank you so much for that wonderful treat. Thank you, sir. We move on to our next poet in round 2, Dr. Shalini Yadav. Dr. Shalini will be presenting her poem, A Guiding Light, which is inspired by Gurudev Tagore. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Saranya. My poem's title is A Guiding Light. Thy name echoes far, a sage meander with heart full of love, with wisdom's lamp that glow. Thy rule the hearts and souls, a messenger of unity with lyrics and lines, singing of humanity. Thy spoke of love and freedom as the wind that blows, unfettered by borders of universal longing, creating harmony. Thy vision was ostentatious, like mist at dawn's rays, with amiability to liquefy differences, rejoicing our collective substance. Thy unfolded a path for us to tread with empathy and compassion, recognizing the divine. Thy dreamed of a future where universality's flag is forever born, binding worlds as a family. Thy message reverberates across the ages span, transcending the fences, finding the beauty that abides, joining hand in hand. O Tagore, the bard of Bengal, thy legacy lives on, a guiding light on our way, and many more generations, for inspiring us, building a world anew, where universality spirit forever shines through, in it all forms and hues. Thank you.
A wonderful poem. Thank you, Shalini. Over to you, Saranya.
Thank you, Shalini ji, for again bringing in the theme of universality in your tribute to Tagore as well. One almost felt like Tagore was in front of you and you are directly addressing him and having a conversation with him. I'm also reminded of how all of us at Shantiniketan Literature Festival, where we were physically present, we were all getting drawn into this belief as if we were being watched by Tagore as we traversed through music and verse, and that I think is the power of universality. That I think is I think we should soon add omnipresence to the list of feelings that we feel when we talk about Tagore. Thank you once again for that exposition, Shalini ji. It was beautiful to hear you.
Thank you,
speak about.
Saranya ma'am. I would like to add something that already Dr. Mukesh has said that it is completely our loss that we couldn't make it to go to Shantiniketan, and we seriously missed it going there. Maybe in future we would like to, and it is completely our loss that we couldn't be there that time.
It's our loss as well, and we missed both of you.
And I was watching pictures of Suhina, you, sir, and Shamulima and all, and I was feeling like that I should be there.
So you will be there. You will be there. Never mind. If for some reason you could not make it this year, obviously there's always a next time. Thank you so much, Shalini, and thanks,
Thank you.
Dr. Mukesh Yadav. Over to you, Saranya.
Thank you once again to all of you who presented your poems. Sorry, it is a tradition that we understood at Shantiniketan that poetry or literature or art is never void of this interdisciplinary, interactive, interdependent expositions. So the entire festival, I mean, maybe I'm sounding like I'm showing off a little bit when I'm talking so much about being physically present at Shantiniketan, but well, I think a little bit of showing off to banta hai because it was such a great experience. And I don't think anybody left those sacred grounds without being exhilarated by the experience. So whilst we were there, we got to hear so much of music and so much of there was so much dancing and so much of singing. So it sort of pepped us up totally. So we come to round 4 of the evening because round 3 is usually book launches and we are not launching a book this evening. So we will move on to round 4 or Inamda to one Rabindra Sangeet that was supposed
Yeah,
to
yeah.
start this
And before
evening.
that, if Gitanjali is here, so
She is.
she sings beautifully, you and I both know. So why
Yes.
don't we ask her to sing something for us impromptu, anything on
Okay.
nature, anything that she feels like that will liven us up.
Mm.
Gitanjali, please come over.
Okay.
S'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît.
This is kind of sudden. Okay. Let me. Can you just give me like 2 minutes? I'd like to pull up some lyrics of the song that I wrote.
Yeah. Please do. Please do.
Or maybe if I can just play it, I don't know. It's okay. I mean,
in the meantime, Saranya,
Yes.
we can ask Indira to
Anji.
present her song, and then we can have Gitanjali.
Absolutely. Indraji, over to you. Are you able to connect your audio? Without the video also is fine. If you can connect your audio and sing for us. Indraji? She seems to have some
Yes, ma'am.
feedback.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, please. Over to you for your Rabindra Sangeet this evening.
Okay, ma'am. Today I'm somehow mesmerized with the good happened, and this is one of my favorite songs. It is in puja porjay or in the form of worship of God. This is in a sort of prayer mode, and it actually means that it is unnecessary to worship elsewhere outside in the world, because that entity lies with entity in every person that you meet. That is the power of love, the power of true devotion. So the song is titled Amar Praner Manush Ache Prane. Amar Praner Manush Ache Prane Tai Deri Tai Shokol Khane Prane. মানুষ আছে প্রাণে তাই দেরি তাই সকল খানে আছে সে নয়ন তারায় আছে সে নয়ন তারায় ওগো তাই হেরি তাই দেখায় সেথায় তাকাই আমি যেদিক পানে প্রাণের মানুষ আছে প্রাণে তাই দেরি তাই সকল খানে আমি তার মুখের কথা শুনবো বলে গেলাম কোথাও আমি তার মুখের কথা শুনবো বলে গেলাম কোথাও শোনা হলো না আজ ফিরে এসে নিজের দেশে, ফিরে এসে নিজের দেশে, এই যে শুনি, শুনি তাহার বাঁধন গানে, প্রাণের মানুষ আছে প্রাণে, তাই হেরি তাই সকল খানে। কে তোরা খুঁজিস তারে কাঙাল বেশে দাঁড়ে দাঁড়ে, কে তোরা খুঁজিস তারে কাঙাল বেশে দাঁড়ে মেলে না। তোরা আয় রে ধে দেখ বেঁচে, আয় রে ধে দেখ বেঁচে আমার বুকে, ওরে দেখ রে আমার দুই নয়নে, দেখ রে আমার দুই নয়নে। প্রাণের মানুষ আছে প্রাণে, প্রাণের মানুষ আছে প্রাণে, তাই হেরি তাই সকল খানে।
Thank you, Indira. That's a beautiful song. Now, if Gitanjali is ready, can we have your song also?
I think I found my lyrics. I just wanted to kind of
Yeah.
be sure. This is a song I wrote, like and a friend of mine composed it for a book launch at Pune that we had last month, called for the anthology Soul Dance. And as the name suggests, it's you know, how the soul dances when you feel good about yourself, or this whole universe is like a soul dancing. So here I go. I don't have the accompaniment, but you could check it out on YouTube later if you are up to it. I'll send you the link. Do you feel unseen waves playing tunes, undulating gently like desert dunes? Do you feel unseen waves playing tunes, undulating gently like desert dunes? In caravans of souls swaying with ease, carrying songs I dance to in scented breeze. So dance with your soul like never before. Feel your spirit rise to heights evermore. So dance with your soul like never before. Feel your spirit rise to heights evermore. Do you see how the moon glides like a ballerina? The star-studded sky is her dazzling arena. Do you see how the moon glides like a ballerina? The star-studded sky is her dazzling arena. Just close your eyes and feel the earth move under your feet. Time sits in your heart as you hear it softly beat. So dance with your soul like never before. Feel your spirit rise to heights evermore. So dance with your soul like never before. Feel your spirit rise to heights evermore. Everything is soul, air, fire, water, space, and this world. Every mountain, sea, meadow, field, and flower unfurled, dancing in your head. Heart and soul, though you don't really know. So just dance with yourself, and the elements for life is a splendid show. That's it.
Excellent, Gitanjali. Excellent.
Thank
you
you.
very much. What a befitting end to this session.
Thank you so much.
Over to you, Saranya.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jidi, for reminding us about how our own festival here also is nothing short of a cosmic dance of
Indeed.
verses, of poetry, of beautiful, beautiful music.
Thank you for listening, everybody.
Thank you. And as
Okay.
Tagore says, the stars have wrought their anklets of light to deck thy feet, but mine will hang upon thy breast. So this beautiful, beautiful evening hangs upon the sky, and we look up to the world to brighten us with verses still. And the Shantiniketan Literature Festival will continue its virtual presence
Thank
for a
you so
few more
much.
weeks to go, and we will hear more poets dazzle the skies with their verses. I now hand over the evening to Arindam Da for his vote of thanks.
Thank you, everyone. But formal thank you again, once again, Dr. Ramakrishna Perugu. You have joined us, and it was cyclonic, he told me, in the daytime. Fortunately, with the evening, things were better. Despite glitches, we have had both Shalini Yadav and Indira Banerjee, complete the sessions. Thank you once again. Dr. Mukesh Yadav, thank you for the lovely exposition. Uh,
Thank
can
you,
we,
sir.
can
Thank
we,
you so much.
Thank you so much.
can we put off some microphones? It's already, there's a disturbance. Please put off your phones, all those who are not speaking. Thank you, thank you. See this very clear again. And it was wonderful having all of you here for the third day. And last but not the least, I thank Saranya, who for 2 evenings back to back conducted the program beautifully. And once again, thanks to Onumita, who is busy with her work back in the States. So without her constant help preparing all those flyers and various things, even the banners and posters we had, the backdrop, the gate, selfie point, everything was designed by her. So I need to thank her as well. And it was wonderful having all of you. I see Kollol here. I see Sushila ji here. Thank you, everyone, and good night. Have a wonderful weekend.
Good night. Good night to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Saranya ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone. Thank you once again.
Good night, everyone.
Okay, I'm now ending the session. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, sir.